Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City just a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson, with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in the area, or if you're looking at investing in a rental property, give us a call at 423-930-8003, and we will look forward to helping you. Now, let's get to today's episode.
We're selling houses like candy bars. I don't know. It's so busy right now, and it's an awesome market. And so if you're thinking of selling, call me. And if you want to move to Elizabethton, we've got somebody special here who knows all about it. And so I am excited to welcome my friend, Veronica Alsop, to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you, Colin.
And I said your last name properly?
You
Alsop?
did. Alsop, yes, A-L-S-O-P.
A-L-S-O-P. Okay, so first things first, Johnson City Living. What do you love most about Johnson City?
Oh, I love the people.
Yeah.
I love the people. I love I haven't really met anyone that has been really, ugly or rude yet, right? Knock on wood.
Okay, that's good.
That's
a really good thing. I think a lot of people would say there's some ugly people here, but luckily you haven't run into them because there's only like 4 of them out of the 100,000 in Johnson City.
Well, I'll be pumping gas and people are just so welcoming. And when I first got here, and again, we'll get into that, but when I first got here, a lot of people would stop and say, "Where are you from?" Or I'd be wearing a different shirt and they'd ask and "You need anything? This and that?" And I'm like, "Okay." So
like easy, pump the brakes a little bit. Now you're right, like, yeah, actually. And what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's just a very loving, welcoming area. So the people, that's our number one answer. So good job. You would have scored big points on whatever that show is where they do that. All right. Let's talk about the origin story. Where were you born?
Actually, I was born in Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, I was born in Mexico. However, I was raised in Arizona.
Okay, and that's really close to Tennessee, so I get how you just made it right up to East
just
Tennessee.
A hop, jump, and a skip away.
So what part of Mexico were you born in?
It's called Sonora.
Okay.
It's a tiny little fishing town. So, yeah, my dad...
on the coast somewhere? Or?
Truly on the coast.
How cool is that?
I mean, the population is just so tiny. It's...
Do you get to go back?
No, I haven't been back since my dad passed away in 2020, which is okay,
Okay.
But no, I don't. I mean, again, it's not a hop, jump, and skip away. So
right. It probably takes a plane and a train and a bus.
And automobiles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I don't. Anyway, but I was raised in Arizona.
Okay.
And it was wonderful. However, I just kind of knew in my heart that I would end up somewhere green with the mountains and the rivers. I would dream about it. So it's really a God thing, and it's amazing. It's a dream come true.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you moved from Mexico to Arizona. What took you to Arizona?
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he moved and you went with him, and then Arizona to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tell me about the timeline there. How long were you in Arizona?
So I basically was raised in Arizona. I moved to Arizona when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And then I moved down here to Unicoi 6.5 years ago.
Okay.
It'll be 7 years in November. And I have a brother that lives out in Sevierville area. I visited him once, and I just loved the place. Again, I was just like...
I was going to say, like, how did you...
Dreams.
Yeah, because I'm amazed at, like, all these people that come from all over the world.
Yeah.
They zero in on the mountains of East Tennessee, and they love it. And so I always want to know, like, what drew you. So you had a brother that was 100 miles down the road.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was looking to relocate. A lot of things were just really iffy in my life. There was just a lot of uncertainty, and I was extremely just lost and looking for change and looking for... I think more than anything, it was change. But yeah, so I moved down here, not because of my brother. Again, I just had something pulling me out here.
Mm-hmm.
And
was calling you here. I think he's calling lots of people here.
Yeah, I think so. And I like to tell people that I like to move out, or that I moved out here before everybody started moving out here. So I'm gonna go out to Virginia and take myself some selfies in the middle of nowhere and post them all over social media. Just teasing.
Yeah, that'd be good. I was here before everybody. Look, come out.
I know.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. So You said you enjoy helping people with the recovery process too.
Yeah, I do. So I got out here. I actually was out here with my ex-husband,
Okay.
and I was out here with,
Sorry.
no, you're okay, 4 dogs. Um, well, things happen. And that's where I ended up finding out the true reason why I was out here, which is 100% God. You know, I wanted my ex-husband to find recovery and find a community and find a purpose. But little did I know that God would pull me out to Tennessee so that I could find a recovery and a community and a purpose. And that's exactly why I'm here. So it's just me left. Not just me, because I have a community and I have so many blessings. Like I just can't, there's not enough time in this day or in this year for me to count the amount of blessings that I've been through. But yeah, a lot to give back in the recovery community, because I ended up, my heart is in it with the families. So again, it was, I wasn't the one that struggled with the addiction. I didn't think I did. However, I was addicted to something, and that was a person. and that very much so is something as well. And I didn't know that. I thought he was the problem. And he's not, because the thing is that addiction, affects the entire family.
Sure.
So they say that for every one person that's addicted, that there's about 17 people that are affected.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up finding.
Was this a substance abuse situation?
Yeah,
kind of thing? Okay.
yeah, and that's okay. It is what it is. I have no regrets at all. So I ended up finding meetings, and I ended up finding a support group. And I went, and these people just welcomed me with open arms. And I found the 4-letter word, which is hope, in those rooms. And it took me a while, but it took what it took. And I ended up finding that I deserve to be happy, because I was so focused on somebody else's happiness and trying to to control that and do God's job, if you will. And I wasn't able to. So now, with all of that, and with the support and the hope and everything that I have found, and the community, I found a lot of things. And again, more than anything, it's a purpose. I would ask people, what is the reason of, what's the purpose of living? Why are we here? And people really didn't know how to answer that. I know now, the reason is for love, whichever which way. But I had to find that within myself. But it all started with God. And that's how you and I kind of know each other.
That's right, from the Emmaus community, which
It is.
like a beautiful community of people that just really love each other well.
Yeah, that was life-changing for me. The Emmaus community was...
When did you go on your Emmaus walk?
I went 2 years ago in spring.
Okay.
And it changed my life forever.
Same here.
Yeah. So again, I know recovery is one thing, but spirituality is another thing for me. And I just know that for me, there's no way that there's nothing bigger out there that could orchestrate such a beautiful thing. And having me, out in the middle of Tennessee by myself with this community and the Emmaus community, and then God. And I just sat there and I said, okay. So it was just a beautiful experience. And I went in one person, and let me tell you what, I left a complete different person. It was the best gift of all.
It is like a super cool experience, and totally, God created it, and then we just get to live it out, and it's so much fun. And so if you're listening, anybody on the podcast, or anybody comes up to you and says, hey, you should go on the Emmaus walk, and I want to sponsor you, do it. It's just hands down the best ever. It's a lot of fun. Carly, my wife, and I have had the blessing of both being on it, and so now we get to go back and serve. And it changed both of our lives. It's fantastic.
Your wife is amazing.
She is a sweetie. Yeah, I definitely outkick my coverage, as they say. So she's fantastic. Let's talk about. I'm going to push in a little bit. How did you know that you were in a situation where I guess you probably knew that your husband was not doing some good stuff, or maybe there was a toxic environment. What were some of, maybe somebody's listening and they're like, oh, these are some red flags that Veronica saw these are some things that she was feeling. I'm kind of feeling those same things, and I probably need to work on this relationship or exiting the relationship. I don't know, because you just want people to be able to protect themselves and help the person potentially too on the other side.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think intuitively we know, there's this, the 3-letter word is gut. And I have acronyms for days, but gut for me is God under there.
Oh.
So when I have this when I have this gut feeling something's not right, it's not right. And I didn't know, I knew that things weren't right for a while. By the grace of God, he actually came to me and he sat me down one day after we were married for quite some time. And he told me about his issue, and I was just absolutely floored. And the thing is that if, there's mothers, there's aunts, there's uncles, there's all these relatives, these girlfriends, whomever is out there, and everybody knows somebody, right? And the thing is that the programs that I went to are programs for us. And that's when we love somebody and we're affected by it. Either we're raised in it, we are married to it, we have it in our family origin, whatever it is. We change. That's the problem. I know that I changed. And I did things I thought because I loved the person, but in all reality, I didn't. I became absolutely insane. I became absolutely sick. I became just as sick without having anything in my system. I didn't need to, because of the way that my thinking was, skewed and distorted, and just the insanity. Yeah. So yeah. So honestly, just I blamed a lot. I accused, and that is no good. It really isn't. The other person needs to ask for the help, and the other person needs to want the help in order for anything to work. Right. So yeah. And
that usually takes some sort of low point, breaking spot, something like that.
Sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't,
Sometimes, the Lord can work a miracle, right? I mean, he can change your heart and your physiology, and just a matter of a second.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that's what I do in my spare time outside of work. I work, I'm on 2 boards, Johnson City Recovery Center. I help them, with their families, and then the events. We have a big event coming up with a big fundraiser. And again, it's just a hub down the street off of Unaka, and it is open Monday through Friday. And anybody that needs help, they could just go in there, and they try to provide you with, just guide you in some type of assistance. They have meetings, open meetings, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful place to go. And the other one hasn't opened yet, but it's going to be a sober living. Yeah, it's called Recovery Renaissance.
Okay.
And the person that is starting it up, he was in prison, and he didn't know how to draw. He says that he didn't even know how to draw a stick figure before he went in there. And then COVID hit, and he has a son. He wanted to communicate with his son, and he started drawing. So all of a sudden, all of this inner artist in him, he just applied it all, and he is a phenomenal artist.
That's
so he wants to encourage people to do that.
Isn't that amazing?
It is, and that's what it's all about to me. So, yeah, recovery is one thing, but again, there's work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta make a living.
You gotta make a living. Yes, you do. And I think one of the cool things about our area too is we've had a lot of different organizations on the podcast, and there's help if you're looking for it. Like if you need something to overcome or just assistance. I mean, our area is full of people that want to love you and take care of you, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just the amount of love here and how we just want to help everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we have so many substance abuse issues in our area, but we do. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it is probably caught, the families have done it, and the kids watch, and okay, that's right. And we just keep going. The cycle keeps spinning. Mm-hmm. How do we stop that, do you think? How do you see some of that? Hopefully at schools and stuff, maybe people are...
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing about it is to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that being raised around it, there's a lot of programs even for teens. A lot of it, we carry around a lot of guilt and shame, regardless on what side of the street you're on, right? You don't want to talk about it because you're just carrying around just this big old, I mean, not even a monkey, but like a monster on your back.
Right.
And I think that having those open discussions about it, and I know that for me, one of the biggest things is no judgment. But that's difficult. You just don't know.
It is so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that talking about it is definitely where to start. I know that I did a podcast a while ago, and it was on recovery stuff. And one of the things that I said was just find one person that you can trust. Not one person that you're manipulating, not one person that's enabling you and so on and so forth, but just one person that you can trust and you can share openly with. And for me, I just strive to be that person to people, whether I am or not, God knows, but God definitely uses me in one way or another, whether I want it, like it, plan it, or not.
Yeah. I think we all have the opportunity, if we so choose during the day, to interact with people that need to just let some stuff out and let it go. And, and I think that's kind of why we're here on the planet, just to help people. And so I think it's cool, and especially in the recovery area, there's a lot to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's not your day job. Let's go to your first job you ever had. What was your first job?
Oh, I was a car hop at Sonic.
You were a car hop at Sonic?
Yeah, I was a
Did you have to roller skate there?
It's interesting. The roller skates, they did not have them down in Tucson, but there was a car club that used to come in on Wednesdays.
Nice.
And then one of the guys there, he drove a 57 Ford, I think it was, and named it Earth Angel or something. Yeah, I know. I can't forget certain things. His name was Sammy.
Yeah.
He brought me in a pair of roller skates, and they would tip me more. And I said, yes, absolutely. So
that's fantastic.
I hopped on that roller.
Yeah.
A little car hop.
Okay, so Sonic car hop.
Car hop. And then we just, oh, man. I mean, there were several jobs in between then, and schooling and kids. And again, so probably too many to list.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
Okay. Are they local?
No. My son, Lewis, lives in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yep. He's amazing. And then my daughter, she's just a blessing from God in itself. Her name is Naomi.
Oh.
And she is in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle. Wow. Yeah. So they're not close.
No, they are not. Again, so.
I guess you can stop in Tucson on the way to see her. So
there you go.
A little hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think when we met at the Emmaus community, you were working at a gutter place, Brothers Gutters, right?
It was, yeah.
That place, those guys are just taking off. I mean...
Well, I think it starts with leadership.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, obviously everybody needs gutters or something done to their house with the gutters, Chad's very blessed on that.
Yeah.
Chad's the owner. He's very blessed in regards to his employees, and that's what I would tell him, because I would help him with managing the guys and managing the trucks, and then, just a lot of the back office stuff and the payroll and all that stuff. And I just told him, I said, Chad, we are so blessed, those guys and the drive and their attitudes.
Yeah.
And, it was wonderful. So, but yeah, before that I was selling some office furniture.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, right. Not far from Brothers Gutters at all, but which was neat, because that's when I started doing a lot of networking.
Uh-huh.
I did a lot of networking and a lot of getting involved in the community.
Yeah.
And specifically Elizabethton Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go there and I would just kind of look around, and people would ask me about networking, and I said, there is something really special about the Elizabethton Chamber of Commerce. And I don't know if it's the community. I think it's God. I really do. But there was something that was just kind of pulling me and just telling me, and I would tell everybody about it. I said, the way that they support you, you're not going to get that support anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful. But anyway.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So I was able to help the Johnson City Chamber of Commerce as an ambassador for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. And I got to just see their events and then do the ribbon cuttings. And I don't know, I just love people.
Yeah.
It's not just in the recovery community, but my heart is just so big. And I remember I used to sell beer for 5 years. I sold
nice.
beer, for a local beer company in Tucson, Arizona. And then I moved on to food. So I sold food to restaurants. And
Okay.
because they said, I really want to help people, but there's only so much I can do,
Yeah.
this and that. So I was selling food for about 10 years, but I got to work with the chefs and the owners, and it was just a lot more hands-on. And I just, I got to see, restaurants open, right? Even before the process of their dreams. And then I got to see them come true, and I got to be a part of that.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, it was amazing. It really was. So now, by the grace of God, I moved into this position of the gutters company, and I learned a little bit of the managing and a lot of the accounting and a lot of these things. And next thing you know, I applied for the position at the director, Elizabethton Chamber of Commerce.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of threw my name in the hat, and I was like, well, I'm not sure, but I just had this pull from God. And lo and behold, after the Emmaus walk, the recent one, that evening I got home, and I had a message saying, Veronica, we've been trying to get a hold of you. I was like, well, I've kind of been serving God for a couple of days, which is a great story. So yeah, I got to go back the next day and do my second interview, and we got to talk, and
Here you are.
here I am.
So you've been serving for a couple of months now, right, as the director?
No, because I put in my notice, right? And no, I'm just 3 weeks.
3 weeks in as the director. You're like brand new.
I am brand spanking new. I am, and I have so much to learn. But just this morning, I had a meeting with someone, and we were talking about, what I need to do and prioritizing and so on and so forth. The people that I have met so far, and even at the Johnson City Chamber of Commerce, Bob's over there, and just the community and how they're coming together, that, again, God has placed on my path and said, what do you need? What do we need to help you with?
Yeah.
The board also, the support that they are offering me and providing, it's just
super cool.
There are no words.
Aw.
There are no words. So I look forward to seeing what I can do. So even if we go back to, and I didn't even put these 2 and 2 together until now, which is just beautiful, is, the restaurant experience and stuff. Like, this is, I mean, I'm not going to do the whole town or anything, but it's the city. I've gotten to do a couple of ribbon cuttings.
Oh, that's fun.
Starting to work with Main Street over there with the city, and we're going to see what we can provide, with the members and their memberships, and try to just do something and come together. And rather than, we're not going to be against each other, we're gonna connect
And work together.
and we're going to be a community. And it's not just going to be, the city of Elizabethton. I hope that it's going to be Johnson City and Bristol and all the other, Carter County. I mean, everybody forgets about Mountain City, Roan Mountain. I mean,
Selling
oh
a
my
house in
gosh,
Mountain City right now.
beautiful. Yes.
It's
So
beautiful up there.
that's my hope and my dream.
What does, so hope and dream, for goals, but tell our listeners what the director of the Chamber of Commerce is really, what's your job on day to day? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, you just open businesses or help businesses, or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so being 3 weeks into it, we haven't had a director for a while.
Okay.
So as of right now, I'm really just very, very green. I've been sorting everything out. I've been going through papers. We have a grant that we were approved for. So I'm going to be working with the community in regards to working a program. I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's 7 or 10 weeks. And we're going to get some of the members and get people involved, and then possibly do some lunch and learns. We have a monthly breakfast. And a lot of it is, memberships, but a lot of it is current members, what can I do to support them? So that's what it is. It's basically just running events. How can I support not only just the members, but the community, the high school, how can we all just kind of come together, and what can we do? The Chamber of Commerce, every town has one, so it's just all right, what are we going to do? How can we shine, and how can we emphasize and showcase who wants to, participate or encourage the people that don't. And I don't know, I'm a big, we have a lot of people moving into the area, so a lot of it's also going to be, getting, the people that have been here for so long that know so much about the history and so much about the area, and introducing them and seeing how we can connect them. With the farmers market starting out in Elizabethton next Tuesday, and I'm so excited. So there's just so many things that the town
A lot
does.
going on. And you're still recovering from the flood, right? I mean, we had a lot of flood damage in Elizabethton.
Yes.
How's that going?
Well, it's going. We're hoping to open up that bridge here in a couple months, and
yeah,
that'll be big.
It is.
Baby steps.
You don't
I
think much about it. You're like, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal. Like, you got to weave around and
Yeah, it is a big deal.
Is Main Street getting more traffic because of that, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
So is that good traffic or bad traffic?
Well, it's one lane. So I think it's affected a lot of our events downtown. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I mean, the good thing is that there's some side roads that people are taking and detours that the businesses are getting a little bit more exposure than they were before. So that's a benefit, right?
Yeah.
But then you've got like one lane and it's, 5 o'clock and it's just not, people they want to get home or they're hangry or whatever it is.
Yeah. Because for our listeners, the water was over the bridge and moved it enough to where the structural engineers thought it needed to be rebuilt, and so they're doing it rapidly to try and get that main thoroughfare through Elizabethton open.
Yeah.
So
by the grace of God, the covered bridge wasn't.
I know, isn't that crazy? I guess when they built that, they were like, it flooded here 100 years ago. We're going to go a little higher. We should do that. Don't you think?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Whatever you guys were doing,
a little more forethought. What's talk to me about your favorite place to eat in Elizabethton?
Well, of course, there's a coffee company.
The coffee company, yeah. We had Frankie on here not too long ago. She owns that thing.
It's funny. I just saw Frankie. I said, oh my gosh. I said, you're probably going to start charging me rent because anytime anybody comes on over, I have them meet me at the coffee company because it's just so, it's wonderful.
One of my buddies, Jerry Williams, who's the pastor at Redstone, Elizabethton, that's kind of his office too. Like every time he just meet me.
I'll have to meet him. We'll have to share like a little table.
He's a tall, bald dude that's just super nice. I love him to death. And so, introduce yourself next time you see him. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you love the coffee company?
I love the coffee company. See, I love food.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I am a foodie. Red chili's really good.
It is, and like their hours are just hit or miss. Like, so we've been there a few times, like closed. We're like, it's lunchtime, and
you have to practice. You have to practice your patience.
Yes, it's worth the wait though. Like that little clay pot bowl with the fried egg thing on top. It's just so good.
Yeah, I really hope in Elizabethton that we get more restaurants. I really do. I mean, we have some really good spots. But I think that we can definitely grow in that area, and hopefully they become members.
Yeah. What's the population of Elizabethton? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm wondering if some people listening are like, oh, I should open a smoothie place over there or a acai bowl place.
Yeah, we have one smoothie.
Oh, we do. You got Java Juice House.
Yep, we've got the 7 Brew now, and we've got, and again, everybody.
Jersey Mike's, a new strip center that has all that in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Across from Sycamore Shoals.
Yeah.
It is really growing.
But there's so much potential.
Okay.
I think there's just so much potential for growth. And I really hope it happens. Like Southern's open downtown right now. The restaurant space. So there's plenty of availability. And not even just that. I mean, now we've got a couple coffee places on downtown. I just haven't gotten to visit them all. I guess I'm just a little biased to the coffee company right now because I've just been there for so long.
And they make a great cup of coffee, and they're doing good stuff. So it makes a lot of sense to use them and go there.
Yeah, especially when you get to walk there.
Yeah, and walking just downtown is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful, wonderful shops down there, and everybody's just so welcoming and wonderful. So,
what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I like to get in the car and I like to drive.
Yeah?
Yes, that is my favorite. That has been my favorite thing to do.
Wow.
There's so much.
Have you ever thought about getting into real estate? I just drove to Bristol twice today. I was like, I'm in the car driving.
I was approached on real estate not that long ago, actually, to do that. No, I'm so So happy.
That's
where I'm
fun.
at.
Do you turn the radio up and roll down the windows this time of year?
You know what's interesting is not so much music. Sometimes I'll drive for like an hour. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've been driving for quite a while. No, it's just
It's just mind. You just freeze your mind.
God's country out here.
It really is.
That really is. You don't need any music.
No, you would just get off the beaten path and go down some road, windy road, and see what's out there. That's fun.
I love it. I really do. And obviously, there's just so much hiking to do.
Yep.
I mean, Elizabethton, we've got the Blue Hole.
Yeah.
Been there?
Yeah. It's cold all the time.
Yeah. Well, I haven't jumped in yet, but I've been there and I've admired it.
Just put that on your bucket list this year.
Yeah.
We used to do it all the time when I was growing up. Still cold.
Bucket list. All right. I'll start it.
That was a cold plunge before it was popular.
Yeah.
So what's something I didn't ask you that I should have? Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you're like, I wish I'd shared about this? Tell me about your origin story, your kids, your recovery, your new role.
Yeah.
Pretty much got it all?
I think you did a really good job of covering it. I mean, again, the most important things, first and foremost are God to me, and then, recovery, family, and no, I just pray that I can do. I know that I will be able to do, as long as I keep God first and foremost, I will be able to do whatever it is that I'm intended to do. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very genuine. What you see is what you get. You can ask me anything and I will tell you anything. And I will help just about anybody, unless you take advantage of me so many times, then I know that you're just using me, and that's called manipulation.
And at some point, I'm going to put up a boundary. There we go. Yeah.
But I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course. What gets you fired up? You're just like, whoa, let's go.
Honest to God, helping people.
Yeah, so much fun, isn't it?
No joke. I will leave meetings after I've chaired them or opened them, or even down the street. I do some, once a month I go and I talk to the families about recovery when they have family visitation, and I leave there and I am on cloud nine, and I'm just like
skipping along.
And I just want to tell everybody and everything how wonderful and good, and this happened and that happened, and that's what gets me fired up.
I love it.
Again, it's just what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get, which is great. I think you're definitely a joy. So, and every time I see you, you're just light up. So it's good. So, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I enjoyed just getting to know you and your story even more. I mean, I knew you a little bit, and I'm excited to interact with you more over at Emmaus whenever we're having those going on. And then whatever we can do to help at the chamber, Carly and I would love to help there too. We're not big in Elizabethton. We've sold a bunch of houses over there over the years, but that's probably a market we need to focus a little more on. So
great. Pop on.
Let us know how we can help. If you want to find out more about opening a business in Elizabethton, how can our listeners connect with you, Veronica?
You can email me at director@elizabethonchamber.com.
Director@elizabethonchamber.com. Okay.
Yep, or just stop by. I'm there most of the time.
Where is
I'm
it?
here.
Do you have a building?
On
the chamber?
Elk.
Elk.
Yep.
Okay.
It's on Elk. It's right across Jiggy Ray's.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
the
right
pizza
before
joint.
the covered.
Yes.
Right before the covered bridge. We've got a wonderful area and space also. So, I mean, even if people are looking to do meetings or hold little events and stuff, we can definitely work with them to rent it out and stuff.
I've never had a Jiggy Ray's pizza. Is it good?
Yes. I like scratch pizza here in Johnson City.
Oh, okay. I won't tell anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, especially since you're over the chamber.
Well, honestly, I haven't had it for quite a while.
Maybe it's just blows your socks off sometime. Maybe Carly and I'll come up and we'll get us.
There you go.
We'll get a slice together.
Come visit me.
That'll be fantastic.
We'll do that.
All right, I love it. Well, until next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group. If you want to move to Elizabethton and be Veronica's neighbor, we would love to help you do that. If you want to invest in real estate, we love doing that too. So if you have anybody that you know of that needs property managed, let us know, and we'd love to help. So enjoy your summer. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Subscribe and reach out to Veronica. I know she's ready to help you with whatever it is you need help with, except maybe moving a piano or painting a house or something.
I still do that.
Okay,
I like to paint. Gutters, I know people.
That's right.
I know somebody. If I can't help you, I'll find you something.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.